but again the Republic Constitution had been suspended due to the bankruptcy, is the fact since nothing was backing the currency except the people, formally free unto themselves, similar to a nation unto themselves, see Law of Nations, Book 2, Article 107, the United States had to obtain credit to operate its army and administration. The only asset or something of value this foreign government to the Republic, in brackets, had to pledge was the future energy or labor of the real living men and women. Source and force, and without their knowing consent, and it was confiscated, seized by necessity by the occupant. For the government's fictional money system, in March 1933, Congress also passed under 48 Stat 1, as amending the 1917 Trading with the Enemies Act, codified under Title 50, Appendix Section 5, 12 U.S.C. 95A, and ratification under 95B. During time of war, the President may, and B, investigate, regulate, direct, compel, nullify, void, prevent, or prohibit any acquisition, holding, withholding, use, transfer, withdrawal, transportation, importation, or exportation of or dealing in, or exercising any right, power, or privilege with respect to, or transaction involving any property, there's your key, any property, in which any foreign country or a nation thereof has any interest. Remember what I said, we're a foreign nation unto ourselves, or a nation unto ourselves, sorry. Or a national thereof has any interest by any person or with respect to any property, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Well, you have to remember a birth certificate created within the subsidy or state of the United States is United States property. Under Senate Report 93-549 from 1973, and I quote, since March 9, 1933, the United States has been in a state of declared national emergency. In fact, there are now in effect 4 presidential proclaimed states, 1933, 1950, 1970, and 1971, of national emergency. Under the powers delegated by these statutes, the President may seize property, organize and control the means of production, seize commodities, assign military forces abroad, institute martial law, seize and control all transportation and communications, regulate the operation of private enterprise, restrict travel, and in a plethora of particular ways control the lives of the American citizens. By 1971, Nixon, under Executive Order 11615, illegally removed the convertibility, external, international, of gold and silver from the dollar, now international bankruptcy, and under 26 U.S.C. 165G, it appears to classify Federal Reserve notes or other evidence of indebtedness as worthless securities. Number 10, 1907 Hague Convention. The Hague Conventions were 2 international treaties negotiated at international peace conferences at The Hague in the Netherlands. The first Hague Conference in 1899, just a sec. And the second Hague Conference in 1907. Along with the Geneva Conventions, the Hague Conventions were among the first formal statements of the laws of war and war crimes in the body of secular international law. The final agreement was signed on October 18, 1907, and entered into force on January 26, 1910. It consisted of 13 sections, of which 12 were ratified and entered into force. Number 11, so again, I guess I got that out of WikiLeaks as a summary. Number 11, under Article 43 of The Hague, The authority of the legitimate power having in fact passed into the hands of the occupant, parentheses, United States, the latter shall take all the measures in his power to restore and ensure as far as possible public order and safety, while respecting, unless absolutely prevented, the laws of force in the country. So how I interpret that is, the laws are still respected, but it's running simultaneously under a different manner by necessity to keep law and order for the good of the public. Number 12, under Article 55 of the Hague, and this is something to pay attention to, the occupying state shall be regarded only as administrator and usufructuary of public buildings, real estate, forests, and agricultural states belonging to the hostile state and situated in the occupied country. It must safeguard the capital of these properties and administer them in accordance with the rule of usufruct. That is so very important. Anyway, I want to see the time left on this. Summary of the above 1907 Hague Convention. Under Article 43, it appears the statement has the purpose of allowing the peaceful inhabitants, non-belligerents, of an occupied territory to continue with their day-to-day lives, and because of the broadness of the essential task at hand, to restore public order, it encompasses many functions assorted with the government administration. This is consistent with the Libre Code Article 2, Keeping Peace, Public Order, and the Law of Nations, Book 2, Section 99. Furthermore, under Article 55 of the government, occupied foreign army, if you will, must safeguard the capital and administer it in accordance with the rules of usufruct. This suggests a trust of property held in abeyance, Libre Code Section 31, of real estate, agricultural estates, etc. Number 13. The Law of Nations deals largely with political philosophy and international relations and has been said to have modernized the entire theory and practice of international law. The book influenced many of the founding fathers of the United States of America, including George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Alexander Hamilton. Dave Vitale's work was heavily influenced by Christian Wolff. I think I'm going to stop here for a few minutes.